Do you want to see me take these 60-year-old lenses, adapt them to my camera that you're watching on right now, and shoot a scale RC video? If so, stay right here because that's exactly what you're going to see. Hello YouTube and welcome to another VanOrd Customs vlog. I'm going to do something a little different this time than the videos I've done in the past. The first one was just straight going to the comp, having a good time, so on and so forth. The second video was very much oriented on taking a box stock, ready to run Red Cat Gen 8 out to a fairly local scale comp and driving it out of the box onto the course and having a good time. This time I want to talk a little bit about something else that I've been doing inside of my scale RC hobby, well, loosely inside of my scale RC hobby, to kind of up my skill set, to up my availability to provide those of you out there in YouTube land with better quality video, something that's a little bit unique and maybe a little different from what everybody else is doing. So I'm gonna bring you to these camera and lens setup that is in the foreground here. This is a 60-year-old Argus C33 35mm film camera. This camera, along with the lenses and the cases that went along with the lenses, have been sitting on display in my basement since we moved into our house 6 years ago. They came with my wife as a display piece because she likes to collect and kind of analyze vintage and old cameras. So I was looking at them the other day and thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if I could just find a way to use 1, 2, 3 of those different lenses on the camera that I'm recording on right now, which is my Panasonic Lumix G7. Now the G7 isn't the most magnificent camera out there known to man, but it is very, very budget friendly to get someone into a camera setup inside of shooting RC oriented videos and photography. This camera clocks in right around $500 with a kit lens and usually some accessories if you can find it on Amazon. I'll post up a link down below inside of the comments section here, and in case anybody's interested in trying to locate and find one of these cameras online. So what happened is I bought this original camera and went, man, wouldn't it be cool if I could find other lenses for it? So I started doing a little research, looking around, and anybody that is into camera gear should know that camera lenses are not cheap. They get spendy real fast, and I'm talking like hundreds of dollars up into the thousands of dollars range. And I don't know about the rest of you in the RC hobby, but that's just not in my budget whatsoever. So I began scouring my house, looking around, seeing what was available. My wife has an old Canon, a SLR camera, 35mm camera that has been kicking around here for quite some time, and I knew that. So I was like, if I have this camera over here and these lenses, there's 2 of them, they're just the Canon EF lens for any of you camera buffs out there. What could I possibly do with those lenses? And I started looking around the internet and said, ooh, I can find an adapter. So an adapter is basically just a ring that provides enough space between the back of the lens and the sensor inside of the camera in order to allow you to use this lens on said camera. Currently I'm recording with my kit lens, which is the standard lens that comes with the camera. It's made for the camera, it fits the camera, nothing special going on there. But the reason I'm talking about this one and not just these guys in front of me is that I found an adapter. The adapter bolts, mounts up, mount the red line to the red dot to red dot, screw it on there, you're good to go. This piece matches the mount for my camera. And so as I've been using these lenses, which are awesome, by the way, this newer, it's not new, but newer Canon glass has been real cool. It was probably from the early 2000-ish when my wife was in high school and taking pictures with a camera that her and her family had bought for her. So I've been able to use the two lenses that were with that. They're great, they're awesome. The only function you lose is autofocus, and it takes you a little while to get used to focusing on your own, especially with video, and it makes it a little difficult. So after having great success with these two lenses, I thought, well, maybe I'll explore the option and opportunity of knocking down a few more lenses. And so I did. I looked all over the place to find a few that I wanted to buy, and I have my sight set on probably like 10 more. By the way, if you don't already know this, camera gear becomes addicting very quickly. I have my sight set on probably 10 more lenses, and everyone I looked at was going to have a different kind of adapter or something here, there, this, that, the other. And so it was going to get expensive real fast, and I had no real experience with adapting any other lenses other than the ones that just happened to be sitting here. So that's where this old Argus C33 comes into play. Camera's been sitting in my basement for years, not doing anything except collecting dust. I knew it had multiple lenses associated with it, so I thought, what if I could find an adapter for that? And I did. I managed to find an adapter. It's a micro four thirds to Argus R4 adapter, and it allows me to mount the Argus lens. Hold on, let me make sure my stuff's lined up here. To the adapter, which then goes in, whoops, maybe. To the adapter, which then goes in and then allows this to mount to my camera. The cool thing about these lenses is that unlike these original Canon lenses that I had, which are zoom lenses, this one is 35 to 80. I'm pretty sure you can probably see that, especially if I get it over here in the light. These are no longer a zoom lens. These are a fixed prime lens. So instead of being able to zoom in and out via the lens and then do your manual focus, these ones are just a fixed prime lens. They control the aperture right on the lens body itself, and they control the focus ring right on the lens body itself. And so in doing that, it allowed me to have 3 more lenses to add to my toolkit. So I went from having 3 lenses to having 6 lenses. And these lenses, these 3 Argus lenses, provide a very unique color profile and characteristic. They're very different from the Canon lenses. They're very different from the kit lens, and I kind of like the idea of it being something that really was just discarded as decoration, and being able to take the decoration from my home and purposely use it on this newer camera. And by no means is the Panasonic G7 the most state-of-the-art camera out there, but it's certainly newer than a camera that's 60 years old. So what I'm going to do with this video is take these 60-year-old lenses, put them on the camera that you're watching from right now, and I'm going to film everything else you see other than these desk shots that you'll see. I'm going to film them all on these vintage lenses. So everything in this video will be shot with 60-year-old manual focus vintage lenses. And I'll take all 3. More than likely I'll probably spend most of my time using this 35mm one, because that is the focal distance that works the best. This one is a 50mm, and this one I don't remember. It is 100mm focal length. So more than likely most of it will be shot on the 35, some on the 50, and maybe a little on the 100, just to throw it in the mix and see what I can come up with. So If you're at all interested at this point, stick around, hang out, watch how unique all of this footage turns out, and cross your fingers that hopefully I'll get something that's in focus for all of you. So join me on this ride and let's film some scale RC. Alright, day is over with the comp here at the RC Addict compound. Shot all day on the old 60-year-old lenses here. I started out with the 35mm lens with a 3.5 aperture, switched that to the 50mm lens with the 2.8 aperture. It's really hard to vlog with these lenses because you have to be so far away from the camera. Usually I'm used to a 14mm lens, now I'm running on a 35mm lens, so it means I've got to be further away. Anyway, lenses worked well. Hopefully you enjoyed the footage. Check me out next time. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe here on the channel if you like what you see, and as always, I will catch you guys all next time.